Getting here. Welcome back to a new audio episode. My name is Edon, and I'm hosting this new audio episode. I am live. Make sure you guys like me on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. Currently, make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Edon, for more great content. Listen, I got some exclusive tea that no one has gone to report on this on YouTube yet. Ex-gagging star Corinthian Pete turned criminal. Now, if you guys are wondering who is Corinthian Pete, back in the pandemic in 2019 or so, when the world was shut down, we were all inside. We all kind of started on a little show called Gagging with Jason Lee. Now, Jason would go on live and you would click the link, you would join into the show to discuss trending topics and whatever and whatnot. And, I was one of the stars of the show. Everyone wanted to get me off the show. Even though I made the show more fun, more entertaining, more juicy. I was there for like 2.5 seasons on Jason Lee's show. Kind of like Cardi B when she was on Love and Hip Hop for 2 seasons and then she left and she blew up. But neither the horn saying, Corinthian Pete was one of those stars. Well, I don't know about star, but he's one of those extra special guests on the show that will show up every now and then. Now, these episodes are live streaming on Jason Lee's channel, Hollywood Unlocked, so you can go back and rewatch all the episodes that we did on the show, and you can actually see exactly what I'm talking about. But just recently, I was just scrolling through my, Instagram messages and just checking in. Because sometimes I get some A&R people or people who love the song or fans, always in there. And I don't always see the primary messages. And sometimes they're hidden or special requests or whatever. So I was scrolling. And I come across Corinthian Pete. Well, I ended up messaging him. I said, hey, Corinthian Pete, where you been? You been in jail? Just joking, like ha la 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 la, laugh. And he ended up not responding to me, but I think a couple of days later he ended up responding and said, hey, how'd you know I was locked up? And I was like, what? You really was locked up? I was just kidding, just speaking out of the blue. I ended up calling him. He didn't call me back. He ended up calling me back on Instagram Messenger. And today I ended up speaking with Corinthian. I said, what happened? I tried to be slick and record the call, thinking I was screen recording the call, but ended up not recording the call, the voice part of it. But basically, I spoke with him, and he said that it is true. He was locked up. He actually got locked up because of a violent stalker past, apparently. He says that he's in a different mind space, a different headspace, and he's moving on. But I ended up going to Google and finding this article on Corinthian. Now, before we get into all the tea, I want to let you guys know my new single "Falling in Love" is streaming on all platforms. Okay, it's even on the radio, FM and AM. Currently, we are on Spotify. We're currently reaching 10,000 monthly listeners. So, congratulations to me. Thank you so much. Continue to stream "Falling in Love" because my new single "I Move Rich" will be coming out shortly, probably in the next month or so, if the label decides to move forward with that single. But let's get back to Corinthian. So we have Corinthian here on the screen. You guys can see, he's a nice looking man, young man. He's okay. He's all right. Corinthians are currently like 6'7", 265 pounds. So this was a guy that will show up on Gagging with Jason Lee. We had our tits and tap. I wanted to say before we get into the information, Corinthian was the one who actually encouraged me to do gagging, gag review by Zadon. He told me that I should keep going. I shouldn't stop. When I was like, no, I'm too busy. I can't make it. But wholeheartedly, he was the one who actually encouraged me to continue doing the show. So thanks to him, I continue doing the show. I continue to post every now and then when I have, juicy gossip and drama to share and everything. But let's get into why this ex-gagging star turned criminal. Okay, because this is really juicy, and I want to make sure I share it with you guys. So let's go back to the original page where we were here. So as you guys can you guys see my screen? Okay. This is Corinthian Pete, right? Man's year-long stalker charged again after allegedly damaging car outside the home of the attorney. Attorney says. So this happened on October 26, 2025. Okay. Stalker's obsession sparks ongoing nightmare for the victim. It says, in a chilling tale of relentless pursuit, a man has been charged of violently stalking a former love interest for over a decade. The victim, who has been married, now lives in fear as the stalker's obsession continues to escalate, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It says, the decade-long nightmare of stalking and destruction. Corinthian Pete, a 33-year-old man, has been charged with criminal mischief and attack of a public servant in Harris County, Texas. In the last week, his bond was set at, it should say like $5,000 on the criminal mischief charge, but another has been yet set for the assault of the jailer. This is not the first time Pete has been facing charges related to obsession with the victim. Eyewitness News report first on the case in 2022 after Pete allegedly destroyed the victim's car. The victim's attorney, Yolanda Jones, said that Pete, who stands at 6 feet 6'7" tall, weighs 265, has been romantically interested in the victim for more than a decade. Although they have never dated, Jones said Pete has become obsessed with the victim, who has since been gotten married. Okay, so it says right here, escalating threats and destruction. Last Thursday, Jones said Pete showed up at a location where the victim was known to be and rang the doorbell. When no one answered, he proceeded to destroy the video doorbell and car in the driveway. The car's windshield and windows were shattered. Mirrors were missing. The body of the car has been largely dent. Jones expressed concern, asking, what would he have done to any person to be encountered? She also revealed her client did not know that Pete was out of jail on his previous charges. Right? It says, in 2022, the following destruction of the victim's car, Pete faced 13 charges, which many were related to stalking the victim. He also faced 5 counts of assault of a public servant. However, all the charges from 2022 had listed the victim as complaining witness were dismissed. Pete took a plea agreement on 4 counts of assault of public servant. He was given 3 years of probation, which he is still serving at the time of last week's incident. Jones expressed frustration that the charges were naming his client were dismissed, and she believes her client is now entitled to certain information in the case, such as where Pete is released from jail. The newly filed charges do not list the victims because the property destroyed belongs to someone else. So, as you guys can see, he had a violent past. Apparently, this goes back a decade. You know, he must be really in love with somebody. I'm really obsessed with someone to be stalking someone for over a decade. That's crazy. But as you can see, Corinthian has had a violent past. You know, this young man, you know, had a great, promising career on gagging with Jason Lee. You know, and next thing you know, he's facing multiple felonies. It's assault. Is he a dangerous man? I don't know. Is he going to stalk me after I put out this video? I don't know. But all I can say is that we're praying for this young man that he continues on a righteous path, because from what I'm reading in, this is simply destruction. Destruction in its way. And what can someone do, or someone say, to help someone who has a destructive, violent past? Now, Corinthian may have fooled some of y'all and thinking that he was a good person. Fooled some of y'all thinking, you know, that he was an innocent, sweet, southern Louisiana boy. But he don't fool me, you know. When I made that statement in his email, I said, were you locked up? That was just a random message I sent to him. He told me that the day that he got out was the day that I sent the message to him. which was a total coincidence. Total coincidence, like shocking coincidence. That the day that he got out, I messaged him saying, "Where you been? You been in jail?" Now, when I was speaking on the phone with Corinthian, he was um downplaying a lot of the incidents, saying like I'm in his business, like why do I care that about his life, like he's not checking on my life, like why I'm obsessed, and everything. I'm like, I'm not obsessed with your life or anything that you got going on. I just want to make sure that um that whatever I'm getting the exclusive, if the exclusive tea, that I'm getting it correctly. And he basically said a whole lot of fool out loud and say, that I'm obsessed, and that I shouldn't be in his business, and that he's doing good, that he's moving forward in a different path, a different life. That sounds great and that sounds amazing and all, but that doesn't discount the fact of what you've done to someone else. This person feels threatened. This person feels violated and scared for their life after they already got married. And the victim said that they were never actually in a relationship. They never dated. Now, according to court facts and documents, this all happened in Harris County, California. Harris County, which is in Houston, Texas. Now, the victim, who I guess lives in Houston, Texas, Corinthian said that he lives in Louisiana. So so basically he drove from Louisiana to Texas to stalk and harass the victim. Now, the identity of the victim has been not exposed to us. We don't know exactly which gentleman this is, but this is an LGBT stalker case. So Corinthian was obviously in love with this guy who's now got involved with another guy who's now married. Apparently he doesn't want to accept the fact that he got married, that he moved on. So Corinthian's out there just stalking and stalking and stalking. Now, we do have a little video of the news incident, because this, let's be honest with this went global. Okay, you gotta be a stalkerish stalker in order to end up on an ABC News exclusive. Now, we have that exclusive for you guys, and we're gonna share it here live on Gag Review. Before then, make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great content. So let's go ahead and share the video, because I'm pretty sure you guys want to see exactly what caused this ex-gagging star to turn stalker. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. So let's just look at this exclusive tea that we have.
Corinthian Pete is doing his most recent stint for vandalizing a couple's car, one of the victims being his ex from more than a decade ago. He's being held on a $5,000 bond. ABC 13's Patrina Adger spoke to the victim's attorney about the law that kept Pete out on the street.
Eric, Corinthian Pete has 5 misdemeanor charges against him for criminal mischief and criminal trespass. He tried to reach out to the victim on social media, and when he did not get a response, he went to the home multiple times. That victim, who is now married, says he and his husband now fear for their lives.
2 grown men who are concerned for their safety and who have gone and bought guns over the weekend because Harris County criminal justice system, with air quotes around criminal justice, is not protecting them.
That's attorney Jolanda Jones's claim after her client had his car windows smashed at his home yesterday. After 31-year-old Corinthian Pete went to the victim's home unannounced.
And they're living in hotels and they're hiring bodyguards for somebody who goes to their house without permission, gets arrested on the 18th, gets arrested on the 19th.
Court records show Pete showed up at the couple's home Friday, March 18th, banging on the door. The police were called and Pete was arrested for criminal trespass. The DA requested bond, but Pete says he was too poor to pay. He was released on a no-cash general order bond where they don't require money to be released. The next day, Pete returns to the couple's home and is arrested again for criminal trespassing. The state asks for a $5,000 bond, but Pete is released again under the jail reform known as the O'Donnell consent, where the court must let people go if they are too poor to pay. While in custody, March 20th, Pete was charged twice with criminal mischief after kicking a police car and smashing a jail computer. He's released again, and on Wednesday, he goes to the couple's home once again, where he vandalized their car and their security system. In the state's motion for bond hearings filed March 18th, they requested the defendant have no contact with the victims, that the defendant submit to electronic monitoring, and prohibit the defendant from leaving his residence without a GPS monitor. The DA's office tells me the motion was not signed. The office telling me tonight by phone, we have tremendous sympathy for the victim in this case. The filings speak for themselves. We are doing everything legally that we can do. Corinthian Pete is currently in jail on a $5,000 bond. He is scheduled for a bail review tomorrow.
So I hope they protect my clients. My clients should not have to live in fear for their lives at their own home.
Katrina Adger, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Corinthian Pete is doing his most recent stint for vandalizing a couple's car.
So there you have it. That exclusive tea that was dropped by the news station of Corinthian Pete damaging someone's car. Not only did he go back multiple times, but as you can see, he is a true stalker. Now, the victim says that they were never romantically involved. So how this relationship came to pass, I don't know exactly. I will reach out to the victim to see if they want to come on the show to discuss what's happening and why Corinthian Pete allegedly stalked him. Maybe we can get some more clarification. Like I said, this was a prominent star on Gagging with Jason Lee. He had a huge, promising career on Gagging with Jason Lee before this, and now he has turned violent, stalkerish, obsession. Have you guys ever seen Obsessed with Beyonce? And what's his name? I can't think of his name right now, but Beyonce and that black man and that white lady. Corinthians giving that white lady. Obsessed and don't want to accept no for no. Not only did he go back to the house once, he went there twice. He went there 3 times. You truly must be an obsessed stalker, motherfucker, to go back to someone's house over 3 times. So much so that the victims feared for their life and went and got GUNs, pow-pows, because there was a fear that this 6'7" man gonna come back, destroy their ring camera. Y'all see the car? He damaged that car. Look at it. Glass busted, windows busted, shattered. How could this gagging star? And I did speak to Corinthian on the phone, and I told him, was drugs or alcohol involved? He said more or less, or something like that. So he must have been on a drug rage, fuel obsession, trying to get back with the victim who never was involved with him. Could his stalker's obsession turn to Jason Lee now that he's been arrested? He's got out? I don't know. I want to see if we can pull up, if he has a criminal history. Let me see if we can pull up this man's criminal history, because maybe there is more that we just don't know about, right? We just don't know about his criminal past. Let me see if we can pull it up. Let me see. Criminal record. Mm-mm-mm. Well, it said he was on probation. Is this him? State versus Pete? Is this him? Hold on. I don't know if this is him. Let me see. Now that was back in 2017. I don't think that was him. Let me look at this really fast. This was back in 2025. Let me see if we can get this man's information. Let me see if we can just pull this up. Bear with me, guys. I want to check out his criminal history and to see if we can see anything pop up other than this assault charge, because apparently he's just been state to state racking up charges. It doesn't say. Okay, let me just go back really fast. Let's see. We can go back to. Okay, here's something right here. So let's go ahead and share the screen right now one more time so we can see this as well. AI. So it's based on 2024 news report. Clinton Pete, the history of arrests, stalking, criminal trespass, criminal mischief, primarily documented in Texas, involving an ex-partner. While the results mention a 2020 arrest, vandalism in a car, stalking, no information in the public records connecting him to a criminal record from within Louisiana. So apparently all his crimes and everything has been done in Texas and not Louisiana, because he lived in Louisiana. So, and allegedly he was supposed to be on probation. So while he's out on probation, he's literally doing all these crimes, which is really crazy. And I asked him, I actually spoke to him on the phone recently, and I said, wasn't I following you? And he said, yeah, well, I took everybody out who's not family or friends, or who's not family, because he don't want people to know about his stalker past. Right here, he got probation with over 13 charges, which many of them were dismissed. And then he got rearrested back in September 2024. And then he was charged again with damaging a car while he was on probation. So, oh my gosh. So the victim, I guess, Alvin, who is this? Alvin Pete versus the state of Louisiana. Oh shoot, that might be the case right there. Hold on. We can get a little more insight. Okay, I guess perfect right there. And we actually have the court documents here. We're gonna pull up really fast and show you guys exactly what's been happening. I was able to find the court document. Oh wow! So right here, it's no, that's it. That doesn't seem right. Pete versus Say, was that right? Alvin Pete versus the swing. Oh, that's the wait. Oh, that was a civil case. Who is Alvin Pete? Interesting. That is interesting. Wow. Okay, so anyways, let's go back to a video. I have a video here I want to show you guys before we wrap this session up with Corinthian, ex-gagging star. We have this last video clip that I want to show you guys, just so you guys can see exactly. Okay, here it is.
Refuses to leave him alone.
Now, the person has already been accused of stalking the man, and now he's charged with another violent incident.
ABC 13's Micah Hatfield spoke to the victim's attorney, who says the suspect keeps trying her client.
The victim's attorney fears what would have happened if her client had answered the door when Corinthian Pete came knocking last week. You'll understand just how terrifying it is once you see these images of the damage left behind. But the victim's attorney says he is scared for his life.
He's like a nightmare that will just not go away.
And 2 years after court records say Corinthian Pete showed up and badly damaged the victim's car at his home, he's back. Jolanda Jones, the victim's attorney, says Pete showed up to an address the victim is known to be at last Thursday looking for him and did this to the video doorbell on the home and decimated the car in the driveway.
My client has not had any communication with this dude, so we don't know what triggers him, which again is scary.
Pete and the victim never dated, according to Jones, but she says Pete nonetheless became obsessed. That started 12 years ago. The victim has since gotten a lifetime protective order against 6'6", 265-pound Pete.
He wants my client, and I do not want my client killed because the system did not protect my client.
Pete faced 13 charges in 2022. Several were related to the victim. All of those ended up dismissed because Pete took a plea agreement for 3 felony counts of assaulting jail employees. He was given 3 years of deferred adjudication, which he has now violated. The victim is not named as the victim in any of the cases he will be convicted of and isn't named in either of the new cases because the car that was destroyed was not his. Jones says that means he isn't kept up to date on what's happening in the cases, even though she says this all has to do with the victim. He only learned that Pete had been released from jail when the latest incident last week happened. Jones is pushing for Pete to be charged with stalking, naming the victim.
Every day, I literally check the jail to get notice so that I can try to warn my client so that my client can, at a minimum, try to protect himself.
Micah Hatfield, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
So as you guys can see right there, on another exclusive from the attorney, Corinthian is still on a drug-fueled rage, and they're not actually sure why why he is what he is, why he's attacking this man, why he's so obsessed, why is giving Mariah Carey obsessed. I don't know, but it is what it is. And I want to see if we can get. Let me see if we can get the records shown. Like, I want to put it send via email. I want to just view it online real fast. Let me see if we can pull this up really fast while you guys are here with me. Thank you guys for tuning in on this new audio episode. Make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's see. We have found it. How can we view it? Click to download. I'm also going to drop the link in the comments. If anyone wants to come up to talk about it, you're more than welcome. You can. We are viewing Corinthian Pete. And while it's downloading right now, so we can figure out, is he, is his mental health okay? Is he in the right state of mind, the right state of his right mind? Why he's so obsessed? Why he's going after this young man? They say that this was his ex-boyfriend of 10 years, but the man said Corinthian Pete. But the man said that they were never involved. Now, I don't know. Corinthian, he just blocked me. He just blocked me. It's almost done loading. It's almost done loading. I'm looking at messages right now. This is Corinthian back in 2021. I was thinking instead of doing the show Address the Mess with Jay, that you should talk about maybe you should start your own thing first. Because some of your fans are saying you're the worst thing on with your projects, the waiting and new music, and it's not like you can only come up off somebody else's work. You're not just the comfortable best friend / supporting role. You're a star. What Corinthian said. Hold off on the Address the Mess and give us an album. So that's what he did. Me, so very proud of you. Been believing in you. He said, "Okay, call me. You were trashing me, laugh out loud. But the episode I watched was cute or whatever. I was surprised your entire show was named after gagging. Like what gagging ends with, you have to change your show's name." Let's be clear. Jason Lee's show is called Gagging with Jason Lee. My show is called Gag Review by Zaydon. Totally different. Oh Lord, we gotta pay $1 to get the information. Always something. Let me see. We pay the damn $1 to get the information. Oh gosh, we gotta do all that. That's just too much going on. All right, listen. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me on this new audio episode. This has been an experience today. I don't go live very often, but when I do, it's very juicy. Now, before we close out the episode, make sure you guys pray for Corinthian Pete. He is like, those Disney stars that just go bad, in their life. He homeless and, like this went bad. I want you guys to consider to pray for him. Make sure you guys keep him in your thoughts. If you guys have any financial support you want to send to him, he wanted me to send him $75 to come on the show, but I wasn't going to do that because I know that he's not going to come on the show to talk about it anyways. So any money, I don't know. But replay game. Make sure you guys rewatch the episode. I am gonna get out clips and repost it on all social media because this has to go viral. And then we may have a follow-up show about this because we need some of the gag reviews, thoughts and concerns on why Corinthian turned stalker. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning with me on this new audio episode. My name is Edon, and I will be back with a new video tomorrow. So tune in so we can re-follow up. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. All right. Take it now.